so today we are going to be taking measurements on how to do an optical center for a single vision lens. So first I'm going to have the patient put on the frame. And one thing that's very important with this is that you want to be at eye level with the patient. So what you're going to do is have them stare right here at the bridge of your nose. And then you're going to come in and as they're staring, focus right there on their pupils and dot where their pupils are sitting. Then you'll look back, make sure that things look where they need to be, and then I'll have you slip those off. And then from this, where you've taken the measurement is, or where you put the dot is where you'll put the measurement. So as you can see here, we dot up where the dot is and you go in the middle of where the dot is to the bottom of the lens, not the bottom of the frame. So here we are reading at about 21 millimeters. Then here you check on the exact same. And again, take it the middle. We're getting about that same, about 21 millimeters. If you do get it slightly different, take the average between the two. Always go lower than higher. And so that would be your optical center would be 21 millimeters. Next one we're going to do is how to take an optical center with a pair of sunglasses. So we have him put these sunglasses on. When you see these here, they're very mirrored. It's very difficult to try and see his pupils. You can get the light from the doctor to see behind so that you're able to see. With this pair, however, it's very difficult. So we're going to show you a different way to be able to get the optical center and still use this pair of sunglasses. We need to get out one of these lenses. So the best way is to just pop one of the lenses out here. So you'll pop that out of the lens. Then what you're going to do, it seems a little silly, but this is really the only way to be able to do this. Take a piece of tape, go right in the middle where their pupil would be, come across and fold that down. So now you're able to see through that. So now Kirk, we'll have you slide forward and we'll have you put these on. So now, as you can see, if you want to look towards her for just a moment, and then so now you can see, we can see that pupil. So now turn towards me and focus right here, again on the bridge of my nose. And very ever so slightly, because that tape will bend, dot where that pupil is. And then you're more than welcome to take those off. With an OC height in sunglasses, it's always best to go ever so slightly lower, whether it's a progressive or a single vision. So here, we're measuring with the seg height at, again, 25 millimeters here. With this one, because we do have the tape and there is room for error, I would take that down at least 2 millimeters. So then that way he will feel comfortable, especially in a wrapped frame, to get to be able to have that progressive or a single vision in the right spot for his visual acuity. So today we're going to be measuring a seg height for a multifocal in this frame. We have a Delphi here. We're going to have her slide these on. One thing with multifocals, it's very important to make sure that they are adjusted on the patient before you take the measurement. If not, it will definitely dramatically influence where that seg height will be in the actual lenses. So what we want to do is make sure that this fits well. We have her look in the mirror, make sure that it's adjusted and where she would wear them typically. So the next thing what we want to do for a multifocal, a no-line bifocal, is have you stare right here at the bridge of my nose. Again, the same thing like a single vision, you will dot exactly where the pupil is. So you'll dot there, come back, look again, double check your work. Now sometimes the patient can actually hold their chin up a little bit too high or a little bit too low. So we want to make sure that they're also in a comfortable position so that we don't get that reading and computer area up too high in their lens as well. So again, we'll have you take those off. So now we've dotted the pupil for the progressive lens, the no-line multifocal, and here again you go in the middle of where you dotted to the bottom of the lens, not the bottom of the frame. And it looks like here we're getting at about 26 millimeters here. And then we again go to this side and you're gonna take the average between the two. So you'll go in the middle of that dot again to the bottom. Looks like we're getting pretty close with that 26 millimeters. So there again, that would be your seg height for progressive no-line multifocal. All right, so today we're going to be dotting up a lined trifocal. So what we want to do with a progressive, you dot where the pupils are. With a lined trifocal, you're actually going to bisect the iris or the colored part of the eye. So again, you want the patient to face towards you, to focus on the bridge of your nose, and make sure that their chin is at a good level, and then you're going to actually line across the colored part of their eye. Again, you're going to look, make sure that that looks pretty good. Again, your hand can be a little bit shaky, so you might want to go back and forth a couple of times to make sure you can get that good average. Then again, we'll have you take those off. All right, so as you can see here, my lines are not very straight, so you're gonna try and find the average or the middle of the lines that you mark on here. So if you go from the middle of those lines to the bottom of the lens, you're getting about a 23 seg height. And then again, you can see if you go to the opposite side, I'm getting a little bit higher at about a 25. It's important with a lined bifocal or a trifocal to go a little bit lower. You never want it to be higher because then it is truly in their line of sight. So again, I would, with between these two measurements, I would go with the 23 versus the 25 so that it is not in their line of sight. All right, so now the next one that we want to dot up here with is a lined bifocal. So again, you'll have the patient face you, have their chin at a normal height, stare here at the bridge of your nose, the bridge of your nose, and again, you're gonna go at the lower lid here. So you're gonna make a line physically at the bottom of their eyelid there. Again, you'll lean back, make sure that that looks pretty good, and then you'll have them take them off here. So as you can see here, my lines again are a little bit wavy, but you wanna try and get the average. So again, the lowest part of the frame is where you want to measure from, not from the outer edges or the inner nasal, right here in the middle. So you'll go from that middle point there to the bottom of the lens. So it looks like with this one, we're getting a seg height of 20, and then on this side, we are getting a seg height of 20 as well. So the most important thing, especially with a lined bifocal or a lined trifocal, is that you want to make sure that this line is not in their line of sight. So you'll want to make sure that it is possibly maybe even a little lower so that they don't have to feel like they're looking up over that line in the lenses. So communication is key also with lining up the lined bifocal and a lined trifocal.